19 please expedite your climb flight level 220.
The future happens when we explore new frontiers. Gemini is the future of finance. Invest in over
70%, maybe 60%. But with flight level change on, you do want to make sure you do have some thrust in order to ascend and maintain that speed. I'm actually going to decrease the airspeed with this knob here, just like that. Alright, another thing we can do is turn on. Alright, and we can engage flight level change. And now what it's doing is it's going to try to maintain our aircraft at 273 knots.
Citation 19 please expedite your climb flight level 220.
king of the town. Yeah, I've been that. It seems really strange for an aviation and travel lover like myself to say this, but I've decided to stop traveling this month due to the high COVID cases around the world.
The World Health Organization reports COVID cases spiked by 71% around the world.
Nationwide, airlines canceling thousands of flights over the weekend, stranding families all around the country.
Travel experts are not mincing words. They're calling this a full-blown meltdown.
United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby has said 3,000 of the company's employees are currently positive for COVID-19.
With so many flights canceled, so many countries on the red list, so many PCR test requirements, and so many apps to download, there's just so much work before you fly internationally these days. Will travel ever be back to the same again? Or COVID has changed the way travel should be? I've asked 3 experts to share their opinions.
That's going to be a long-lasting legacy is hygiene and cleanliness. I mean, the reality with COVID is this isn't a post-COVID world. We're going to be in an always COVID world.
We need to forget the old normal and we need to focus on the new normal.
So it depends on where you're coming from and where you're going to. If you're going from a highly vaccinated country or region to another highly vaccinated country or region, testing is likely to be minimal.
First, let me share with you some of the pain points in current international travel.
With rapidly changing requirements, one day the country requires tests, another day it doesn't. One day the country requires vaccinations, another day it might require boosters as well. One day you might require certificates of one type and another day you may require another type. So a lot of these new restrictions and requirements can often turn away travelers because of the steps required, especially if it's a large family. The costs add up, the forms add up, and people may be discouraged from traveling.
I went to Thailand in November when Thailand opened the country with Thailand Pass, allowing tourists to enter without quarantine with just a PCR test on arrival. However, the Thailand Pass got suddenly suspended in December due to a high number of arrival and the Omicron variants. That tells you how things can change very quickly with no notice, and it throws a lot of people's travel plan out.
So we haven't traveled in 2 years and this is our first flight. And last night the government just broke the news that we had to extend our quarantine from 2 nights to 7 nights. So yes, we can't do anything about it. So yeah, let's comply the rules.
So this is like going back home to Indonesia. You need to do 7-night quarantine now.
Instead of 2 nights.
Oh no, that's the price. That's just crazy right now.
Yes.
The next pain point of currently international traveling is the increase in the airfare. It is almost impossible to buy your ticket 3 months, 6 months, 12 months in advance to lock in a cheaper rates because you simply don't know what will happen in 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months. So people tend to buy a ticket last minute and that costs more. There are a few countries also restrict the number of flights can operate into their country or the number of seats on each flight the airline can sell. And obviously that has skyrocketed the air tickets. Take a look at the United Airlines flight from San Francisco to Shanghai. The cheapest economy class is $7,000 and premium economy over $12,000 round trip. I remember there used to be arguments whether first class will be history. The dynamic of air travel has really changed during COVID. And now we're seeing a lot of first class are back in demand. And also in business and premium economy, simply travelers want to have more space. It makes me wonder whether there will be more changes in the air travel industry.
COVID actually has, for better or for worse, and in many ways better, forced restructuring in the industry. But we're about to really see the test because what we're now seeing is the payroll support and a lot of the subsidies and a lot of that is wearing off. And now the companies and the airlines and their staff have to stand on their own 2 feet. And so we could see change, which really benefits the low-cost carriers with low-cost base. And I also think what we're obviously going to see, which we are starting to see again, is more consolidation. Another big change I see is the regional airlines in this country, in the United States, are going to really have a shakeout. That's largely due to the lack of pilots, and you're already seeing that. And so what does that mean? I mean, that means obviously hastening the retirement of the fuel-inefficient 50-seat aircraft. But what else does that mean? Well, you're going to have larger gauge aircraft into these secondary, tertiary markets that are operated by the regionals, but there'll probably be fewer amounts of connectivity. Some cities will lose service. Some cities will have reduced frequency. And when they do have frequency, they'll be using larger aircraft. And we're already seeing that domestically in the US and around the world. We're seeing an upgauge where the heart of the market used to be for short haul, the 737-8 or the A320. Well, now we see the heart of the market as being a larger aircraft towards the A321s. But ironically, on the secondary standpoint, we're seeing a down gauge on wide bodies. Now the 787 is being cannibalized by, say, at the lower end of that capacity by the A321. And in the high end, the 777X, this big bet they've made for the next generation 777X, it may be too big.
There are many advantages using VPN. Personally, I use Surfshark VPN to bypass internet censorship, to find cheaper connect to another country, to find cheaper air ticket, cheaper hotel, and cheaper rental car. Just like many frequent travelers, we offer free advanced spaces.
The weakest link, in my opinion, in travel going forward will be the airports, not airlines. Passengers were squeezed through tight security lines. There was crowding at the gate area. There was not a lot of social distancing at all. Passengers landing and taking off were getting mixed in single areas, which created nervousness and anxiety.
I do miss the good old days. I miss talking to people. I miss laughing with people, hearing their stories. It's really hard to understand people with not being able to read lips because of the face masks.
So coming back to the big question, will travel ever be back to the same again? Or COVID has changed the way travel should be? I've asked 3 experts to share their opinions.
That's going to be a long-lasting legacy is hygiene and cleanliness. I mean, the reality with COVID is this isn't a post-COVID world. We're going to be in an always COVID world. This is going to go from a pandemic to an endemic, which means like the flu, like the common cold, it's going to be unfortunately on the menu of disease and maladies that we regularly have to face. What does that mean? I think masks are going to be a long-term fixture. Maybe even when they're no longer mandatory, you're going to see a lot more people like you see in Asia, in the Middle East, wearing masks. I think social distancing will remain important, and room and space.
There comes a time in every organization where cloud expense becomes the
To be perfectly, we need to forget the old normal and we need to focus on the new normal. Because when we are focusing on the old normal, it will stop us from finding solutions for the new normal. The main point is we need to enable more technological advancements and capabilities we need to make use of. To be perfectly, we need to address affordable for everyone how we can bundle these services. The second thing is the PCR test. The PCR test has been one of the key cost drivers for many people around the world, making travel unaffordable for everyone. So the solution to this could be, for example, to provide a home self-test kit where the people could do the test at home by themselves under the supervision of the medical doctor via the video camera. That is why we have the urgent call out to the governments to create better policies to support technological advancements.
The big question is, of course, will
Today, we're flying from here in New York, where it's cloudy and gray, to sunny, hot Dallas, Texas. 43,000 feet, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Come on board, the right seat's open, let's go flying. What's up, everyone? Good morning from White Plains. Let's get this show rocking and rolling. Today, we're flying from here in New York, where it's cloudy and gray, to sunny, hot Dallas, Texas. 43,000 feet, 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Trim's good. Flight controls up, down, free, and correct. Flap, speed brake, ground flap check is up and down, up and down.
Ground, how you doing? Citation 2 Romeo Foxtrot, we're at Ross East, taxi with India, please.
Citation 2 Romeo Foxtrot, Westchester ground, Romeo 16, taxi via Alpha.
16 via Alpha, 2 Romeo Fox, thanks.
Alright, clear left, clear right. Not gonna put the light on in the lineman's face. We're gonna wait until we clear. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Cool. Light's coming on. Here we go. Alright, clear left, clear right. Alright, we'll do our taxi checks here. Brakes feel really nice. Flight instruments are moving. Turn coordinator is moving. We'll do a rudder bias check. Alright, right kicks. Crew briefing. Left seat departure today. Any issues before V1, max braking for us, leave as idle, speed brakes up. Anything above V1, we'll take it up in the air. If it's an emergency or on fire, severe flight control issue, we'll come back and land here at White Plains, plan the ILS 16. If it is not critical, but we can't center.
Tower, how you doing? Citation 2 Romeo Foxtrot, hold short 16, ready to go.
Citation 2 Romeo Foxtrot, Westchester, good morning, hold short Romeo 16.
Hold short 16, 2 Romeo Fox, thanks.
Alright, so we briefed the departure, so you guys can see what we're doing today. It's the Westchester 7 departure off of runway 16. Initially, it's a runway heading to 800 feet. Then a right turn heading 320. That's radar vectors to the first fix, which is going to be park.
Alpha, right hand turn, contact you at departure 120.8, have a good flight.
Over to departure 20.5, Alpha, yeah.
And we won't exceed 109 knots until we're established on that 320 heading. 3,000 feet is set.
610 Tango X-ray, wind 2205, runway 16, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 16, 610 Tango X-ray.
We'll go nav and VNAV, so our flight directors are all synced. And that is checklist completed.
Right to Romeo Foxtrot, wind 1905, runway 16, clear for takeoff.
Thanks so much. Clear for takeoff 16, citation 2 Romeo Foxtrot.
Heats, lights, coming on. Engine instruments are clear. One more flight control check just to make sure. Always a good double check. Alrighty. Alright, 16 is the runway. That checks. Let's go flying. Stable. Takeoff. Takeoff power is set and achieved. 2 good engines. Airspeed's alive, both sides. 70 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. V2 plus 10 knots, flaps up. Yaw damp. Climb power. There's 800 feet. We'll start that turn.
Alright, 2 Romeo Fox, the right hand turn, contact departure.
And the turn, going to departure. 2 Romeo Fox, I'll see you.
Jet is 470.
Next departure, how you doing? Citation 2 Romeo Foxtrot, 1700, kilometer 3000 in Westchester.
2 Romeo Foxtrot, good morning. Your radar contact, maintain 7,000.
7,000, 2 Romeo Foxtrot.
7,000, flight level change. Keeping that turn coming here, that wind's pushing us, so just kind of correcting for the wind there.
Station 2 Romeo Foxtrot, turn left 260, contact 120.4.
Left turn 260, 20.4, 2 Romeo Foxtrot, see ya.